afternoon, everyone. Before I introduce a very special guest, let me say what a pleasure it has been for me to know personally Robert Logan, his wife Michelle, and each of their children and families over the last 34 years. As many of you know, my wife Susan served and worked with Robert for 33 years. I've had the personal privilege of sharing many wonderful conversations with Robert on a variety of subjects, some that we agreed upon and some that we did not. But I've truly enjoyed getting to know him more and more through the years, and I value his friendship very much. I know he'll do a great job as the new Chancellor of the 2nd Chancery District for Jasper, Newton, and Scott counties. We are joined here this afternoon by the Honorable William L. Bill Waller, the Chief Justice of the Mississippi Supreme Court. As many of you already know, he's the son of our former governor, the late Bill Waller. He's a native of Jackson and a graduate of Murray High School, later his bachelor's degree from Mississippi State University in 1974, and his law degree from the University of Mississippi in 1977. It was at Ole Miss where he and Robert crossed paths while they were both law students there. Chief Justice Waller practiced law with the firm of Waller & Waller for over 20 years in Jackson. In 1996, he was selected as the Mississippi Supreme Court Justice and became the Chief Justice in 2009. He and his wife Charlotte are parents of 3 grown children. They're members of First Baptist Church in Jackson. Robert also shared with me that one of your sons is also a professional musician just like Zach, which means they don't make much money, right? Chief Justice Waller also has 30 years of very distinguished service with the Mississippi Army National Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to this very special ceremony the Mississippi Supreme Court Chief Justice, the Honorable Bill Waller.
Great to be back in Newton County, and the other part of that is when I was commander of the 66th Troop Command, the 1st of 204th was one of the units. And of course, that's part of the National Guard here in this part of the state, and I had the privilege of after 9/11, going to Washington and actually inspecting some of the batteries of our very own there, protecting the Capitol complex. And one of them, there was a man-packed Stinger battery on top of the new federal office building. And I looked down there, and they were providing the last coverage for the White House. And so we're standing there, and this guy, here, preacher, come over here. So we're standing there. I want you to look kind of solemn and mean. And so I got the soldiers over here. I see General Freeman there. And I say, what's that guy doing with the civilian suit on right there? And the guy goes like this, picture, kind of like this. He says, I'm to make sure they don't shoot the White House. That was kind of fun. Somebody watching somebody, but it's great to be here, and it's been my privilege to serve you since the election in '96, and I believe that this is one of the strongest areas in the state in a variety of ways. The 2nd Chancery District has always been one that we could rely on great lawyers. The citizens there tell the truth most of the time, and justice is served. And so I have very few problems out of here because you're great citizens, you're great people. And so it's been my privilege to have served just past the 21-year mark here and to be with you, my friends. Now, Robert and I, as he mentioned, we were in law school together. And also at that time, as he mentioned, his father was in the Senate when my father was governor, which is, I just find that just great, and I love that relationship that we've had. We've had a lot of contacts over the years. I've had several elections, and so Robert is one of the stops. I see Bill May sitting back there. his father and my father were good friends as well, and so that's always a stop I would make on campaign stop to visit with him, and we would always catch up on what was doing. But a judge needs to be an experienced lawyer, and what you have with Robert is someone that's got over 40 years approaching, Robert, we're approaching the big 5-0 mark before long. And that's important because you want someone that's seasoned, that's worked with clients, that's actually been in the courthouse to do that. And I can tell you that Robert is straight as an arrow. Now, the one thing that he has accomplished that I'll never accomplish is that he qualified for this position and nobody qualified against him. That's quite a feat. But I think that's a great commentary on him and Michelle and his family and his experience in the community, that he has that type of respect. And I assure you, among the lawyers, that that's absolutely true, that the clients always got a fair service from him in delivery of that, and that he always had a professional office, and he's going to conduct himself as a chancellor, I predict, one of the best in the state. Always, in every letter that I write, I always finish, if it's to a judge or a lawyer, thank you for your contribution to the fair, efficient, and independent administration of justice. And I think that describes it, and I think Robert is a great example of that in his everyday life, and I think he'll be an outstanding chancellor. So it's my particular privilege to administer the oath this afternoon in Decatur, Mississippi. So Robert, Michelle, if you'll come down, we'll have the oath. Now we have people from the press here. I think I saw somebody from the New York Times. Is that right? No? Okay. Well, y'all want to get where you can take a picture? Let's see. All right, they're over here, so I'm going to put you on this like this. Okay. All right, got a good view here? Okay, got it? Okay. You must be from the Wall Street Journal. Okay, all right. Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Robert Logan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will administer justice
that I will administer justice
without respect to person
without respect to person
and do equal right
and do equal right
to the poor
to the poor
and to the rich.
and to the rich,
That I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all of the duties
all of the duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as a Chancery Court judge
as a Chancery Court judge
to the best of my ability and understanding,
to the best of my ability and understanding,
agreeably with the Constitution
agreeably with the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Mississippi.
of the state of Mississippi.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Family, come on. We got to do the road.
I've never been dressed by a committee.
We're not doing a very good job.
First thing that comes to mind is I'm glad I'm not on trial before this jury. I want to thank you all for being here. I know, there are a lot of other things that you could have done and places you could have been this afternoon, but it warms my heart that I see so many friends out here. I first want to thank, from the bottom of my heart, my good friend, Bill Waller, for being over here. It means a lot to have him come over here and do this for me. And I want to thank him for his service to the state of Mississippi, and I ask that you give him a round of applause. And I hope you enjoy your retirement. I hope it's very active. I next want to thank my #1 supporter, Michelle Logan. She's been married to me for 37 years, and I'm sure I wouldn't be here today without her support. Thank you, Brother Gary, for coming to give our invitation, and George Hayes and your staff and all the folks in the courthouse for putting this ceremony together. And Brother Randy, you mentioned Susan. Susan was my right arm for 33 years, and I appreciate you being here as her representative. Judge Clark, I don't see, but I thank Judge Clark for helping me to make a smooth transition. He's done everything he could to accommodate me to be able to come in and assume this position. Thanks to Brian Mayo, Judy Graham, and Sarah Ham, my colleagues at the Logan and Mayo firm, before it was closed a day or two ago, for all that they did to help with this transition. And finally, I want to especially thank each and every lawyer in the district who chose not to run for this office. Probably the only reason I'm here today. I'd like to recognize some of the folks who are here. Our 3 Chancery clerks, George Hayes, who you've already seen, and George and I have been friends for many years. Barbara Ravenhorst, are you here? Barbara Ravenhorst, Chancery clerk from Jasper County. I think she started when she was a little girl, and I've known her all that time. And Leanne Palmer, Scott County Chancery clerk. I haven't known her that long, but I knew her parents and even met her grandfather. She comes from a long-time political family in Scott County. My court administrator, Stacy Shoemaker. Stacy. She's already been on the job for 6 months and knows a whole lot more than I do about what's going on in the office. I think you'll all enjoy working with her. My court reporter will be Melissa McGee. She's not here, but the lawyers all know her and she does a great job. I want to recognize these folks over here. 4 children. We have 5 grandchildren and their spouses. 3 of them live in Tennessee, 1 in Starkville. 3 of these ladies are expecting. So Logan family will have 3 new grandchildren this year. So that's more exciting than me being Chancery. My cheerleader, Lavinia, my mother, she's 89. She is the most positive and optimistic person that you will see. My mother-in-law is also a cheerleader for me, and unfortunately she passed away, and her funeral is tomorrow. I lost my father in 2011. He would love to have been here, and if he had been, I know that there's something that he would say at this time. And that is, what is this world coming to? Also, I noticed my colleague, Joey Kilgore, Judge Kilgore, Chancellor from the Shelby County is here. I appreciate him being here. I appreciate all of you being here. I won't have a whole lot to say as far as a speech goes. Just a few observations, I guess. Number one is I truly appreciate the opportunity to do this. It's a great way to end a legal career. I started out with 3 years of military service, and to be able to end with service as a judge is very special. I haven't had to make campaign promises because I didn't have to campaign. But I'll tell you a little bit about that. May 1st of 2018, I wasn't even thinking about judges or being a judge. And we got a call from Judge Clark to come over and have dinner with him in the forest. And so all the lawyers went over there. And he told us that night, he says, I'm retiring. You guys got until May the 11th to decide what you're going to do. And so after a couple of nights of not being able to sleep, I was discussing it with the family, and my son Jeffrey over here said, "Daddy, if you're going to do this, you need to go ahead and throw your hat in the ring. Maybe nobody else will run." And so this guy who's never taken any of my advice gave me some good advice, and so I did that, and it worked out. The Chancery Court is called the Superior Guardian of the Children of the district, and that's important to me. If you know me, you know that I have a lot of concern, I have a lot of feeling for young people, and I think we have talented, smart, capable young people in our community, and we don't sometimes realize what their potential is. But I want to encourage everybody to encourage them and be an example to them and help them achieve what they can achieve. And I'm going to do all in my power as Chancery Judge to do that. My philosophy has been, no matter where I am or what I'm doing, I want to make it a little better. Not that we haven't had a good system here in our Chancery district, but no matter what it is, I'm going to try to do it better. My campaign promise at this time is you will have my best effort at all times. You know that I'm a fun-loving person. If you've known me very long, I like to laugh, I like to have a good time. But I don't know if there's anybody that's more serious about law and law practice. And that's the way I'm going to run the court. And I'm ready to get started. And I want y'all to all come up and have refreshments. Thank you.
You're all invited to participate with our reception for all to visit.